When Disney first announced that they were having their own streaming service, it really didn't mean anything to me. I mean, so many were coming out at that time. But when they told us that it was going to have Marvel TV shows that included some of the characters from the MCU, I got totally excited. And they have been delayed for a while now. But finally, we have our first one, WandaVision. So WandaVision stars Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda Maximoff, and Paul Bettany as Vision. We find them in what appears to be some alternate reality where they exist in a 50s style sitcom, but as things continue, we still don't know what's going on, except for a few clues. So this review is just about the first couple episodes, because that's all that's been released on Disney+. Unless you were one of those lucky reviewers or critics that got that early access and you got to see the first 3 episodes. But I'm not that lucky, so first 2 episodes is what we'll be talking about here. A lot of people over the years have talked about the Marvel formula and how sooner or later people will get tired of it. So far that doesn't seem to be the case. I will say there is a little bit of wear on the Marvel formula, but it's not broken yet. But nonetheless, I was still excited by the idea of WandaVision. We see through the trailers and the commercials that it's very different than anything we've seen before in the MCU, unless you count the Marvel Netflix series, which at first were in continuity, and now they weren't in continuity, but they might still be because now they own the rights to Daredevil. You know what, that's a whole other discussion, never mind. But point is, it was so different. This idea of Wanda and Vision being like in this like TV world where they're like bouncing between sitcom eras, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and all that stuff. It seemed very different and wild and crazy, and it got me intrigued. And after watching the first couple episodes, I'm going to get some hate for this. So yeah, I do have problems with the first couple episodes, but don't think I'm about to crap all over the show, because give me till the end to explain. But first, let's go over a few things. And let's go over the things in the show that I do kind of dig. First off, I want to talk about the set design. I usually don't talk about this, but as someone who grew up watching Nick at Night and old school TV shows like Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Gilligan's Island, my dad to this day still watches reruns of the Andy Griffith Show, and sometimes I watch it with him. So I'm very familiar with this era of television and its charm and its humor. As corny as it is by today's standards, it still has some charm and humor to it, and I can still watch these old shows and enjoy them. And in the first episode, the set of Wanda and Vision's house is very reminiscent of the set from the Dick Van Dyke Show. Obviously, if I did a little more research, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe they took a little bit from this show, the set design from this show and this show. But the first one that hit me was the Dick Van Dyke Show, because the living room just really reminds me of it. So the set design is nice. Also, the kind of little uses of special effects, because in this world, Wanda and Vision, they still have their powers. And, with Wanda, usually her powers are like you see like the energy from her body manipulating stuff, but it's a 50s style sitcom, so you just kind of see things floating around, and they kind of look like they're on strings and stuff like that, So I like the little touch. Or when Vision like morphs his face to look more human, they do like this like sparkle effect kind of thing going on, which is what they would have done back then. So I like these little touches. And of course, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, good actors. I think they're doing really well in the roles. But with that said, what's bothering me about the show is, first episode, I'm sorry to say it, but I was really bored. They really do go deep into this idea of them being like in an old sitcom. And I don't know, maybe it's just I didn't expect them to go that hard, but like 90 to 95% of the first episode is just a 50s style sitcom. And unfortunately, I just didn't find it that funny. And I know I'm going to get some comments about this, because a lot of people are enjoying this show. It's getting good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, a ton of my friends all say they like to love it. And so I know I'm like kind of in the minority here, but I don't know what it was, but it's not really on the, I can't really say it's on the actors. I don't think it is anyway. But yeah, just some of the jokes aren't really landing for me. It's like, yeah, these are the kind of jokes that they would tell in a 50s style sitcom, but It's not. It's missing that. I don't know. It's missing something for me. I really wasn't entertained by it, and I wanted to be. I wanted to be. I was so excited for these Marvel shows, and I know there's a lot more to come. So, but yeah, that first episode I just found really boring. What I did find interesting is because like you're watching it and you're going like, wait a second, Vision died in Infinity War and he didn't come back in Endgame. So how is he back? And why is this their world now, their life? Um, what's going on here? I don't understand. But you get tiny little glimpses of like, wait a second, like the characters like where something happens and they're like, wait, what? What what's going what? Like there's these little weird moments where like things start to like you get out of and that continues on into episode two, which episode two where episode one was more 50s, episode two is more like very late 50s, early 60s style. It's more in line with Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, which once again I watched those shows when I was a kid on Nick at Night, so I think maybe I dug this episode a little bit more, but not a whole lot more. In this episode, we do get more things going off or acting weirdly, little like spritzes of the Marvel universe that we know starting to like seep into whatever this existence or reality that Wanda and Vision are in. So that's what I'm digging. The more and more we start to get these little clues as to what is the mystery? What is this world? What's happening to Wanda and Vision? What's going on? It's these little clues that are coming out there that are grabbing my attention. Unfortunately, in episode two, once again, like I think the humor was a little bit better. I laughed a few more times in episode two than I did in episode one. Episode one, I only laughed like once or twice. Where episode two, I laughed several times, but not like nothing that was good, hearty chuckle. I was still kind of bored for the most part. So, yeah. But we got more of those clues as to the mystery. It was like, okay, this is the parts that's intriguing. We start to see things that are like, okay, well, who's this guy? What's going on there? That's what is intriguing me. One other thing I am enjoying about the show, and you see more of it throughout episode two, is that we see that Wanda and Vision really do love each other. They are, in this world, they're a married couple. And that's one of the things I was looking forward to most about this show, is that I really didn't feel like Wanda and Vision's relationship was properly developed in the movies. Like, at the end of Captain America Civil War, we get that they have feelings for each other and there's something going on there, but then the next time we see them in Infinity War, they've run off together to another country, they're hiding from the other Avengers, and they're kind of doing their own thing. So, and it just felt like a hell of a jump in their relationship. Like, I really needed to see it, see more of that relationship. And that's where we're getting to see more here. And we see that they just want to have a normal life, it appears, or at least Wanda at least wants to have a normal life. And Vision is just not going along. He's just kind of going along with it. He doesn't care as long as he's got Wanda. He doesn't give a damn. But yeah, you see that desire for Wanda to want to be accepted by this neighborhood that they've moved into, and that's what I'm really digging about it. We get to see like where they want to be, what this point in their lives, what do they want from for themselves and as a couple, what's going on there. So that part is good. But yeah, I'm still just having trouble really getting into the show. And once again, I know I'm in the minority here. I know a lot of people are loving this show, and I wish I was. But I'm not so far. And I want to. I don't want to be this like negative, cynical guy, and I hope I'm not coming off like that. But I'm just not digging it. But I'm not going to quit on the show yet. Because I've heard, through other critics and reviewers that who've gone to see episode 3, that things pick up even more in episode 3 with like the mystery elements. And I think, hopefully, after episode 3, I'll be more into the show. Because right now, it really hasn't grabbed me. Like, if this was just like if the MCU wasn't a thing and Disney Plus wasn't doing these Marvel shows and it was like their first thing, I probably would have bailed by now. I'd probably like, I'm done. But I'm going to stick with it for a while longer. So do expect me to do review of episode 3 when it comes out next week. And I'll give my thoughts then. And hopefully I will be enjoying the show much more because, like I said, I really do want to enjoy the show. I'm happy they're doing something different and a little weird and a little strange than what we normally see in the Marvel movies. Because if the Marvel Cinematic Universe is to survive, they can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, which, as a fan of the MCU, I can admit that they're, repeating certain themes, which is hard because, you have some of these characters that have existed for decades and sometimes story elements get repeated, like there was a lot of similarities between Doctor Strange and Iron Man, which is what I think made their dynamic fun in Infinity War, because they got a similar mentality about things. But yeah, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna watch episode 3. And I'm trying, and I'm gonna stay positive because once again, I want this to be good. At least for me. I'm sure for a lot of you, you're already like, it's already good. For me, it's not so far. And I want to feel it. I want to feel that love and joy that everyone else is having right now. So, yeah. Ooh. So, before I sign off, like I said, I really wanted to enjoy this. And I don't know. I feel like I haven't anything positive to say yet on this channel. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that just has a channel where I'm always like, this is stupid, and this sucks, and how dare the blah, 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 and this is stupid, and these writers, and blah, blah. Yeah, no, I don't want this to be a channel where every video I'm talking about what is stupid and dumb and wrong, and never talk about what's good. So I do want to share something with you. It's a video I'm working on. Hopefully it'll be out within 2 or 3 weeks of this video. It's a movie that I really enjoyed when I was younger, and I rewatched it recently, and it's still good, and I'm so glad it is. So keep an eye out for my upcoming review of Pleasantville. But until then, thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, hit that subscribe button. Take it easy.